So we were talking about far jump. Um, you see, like short jump is intra-segment because it is 2-byte instruction. Near jump is also intra-segment. It is 3-byte instruction. Whenever we are talking about 2-byte instruction means 1 byte is going to be reserved for opcode, as I mentioned earlier, and 1 byte is for displacement. Okay, and I showed you how the displacement is going to be, and since it is only 1 byte, you will be allowing processor to jump within plus or minus 127 or plus or minus 127 precisely, right? And if it is 3-byte instruction, then 1 byte will be reserved for opcode, and you are going to have 2 byte for displacement. 2 byte means 16 bit. 16 bit means 2 to the power 16. It is going to be 64k if it is unsigned number. But if it is signed number, one bit is going to be reserved for sign. So remaining 15 byte bit would be used. So 2 to the power 15 is going to be 32k, and therefore near jump would allow you to branch or to jump within plus or minus 32k. Now since plus or minus 127 or 128 or plus or minus 32k, this is well within 64k, and that is why it is called as intra segment. This is within the same segment. Whereas in far jump, what happens now? This is 5-byte instruction. This is 5-byte instruction. Out of this, 1 byte is going to be reserved for opcode. Remaining 2 bytes, byte 2 and byte 3 of this 5-byte instruction obtain new offset address. So remaining, I mean, out of 5, second and third byte will be for offset address. Okay, 16 bit, second 16 bit, and byte 4 and 5 contains new segment address, because you will like to jump from code segment to data segment, or code segment to extra segment, or code segment to uh, कोड सेगमेंट टू स्टैक सेगमेंट. तो जैसे मैंने बताया था कि हमारे पास क्या है, 4 अलग अलग कोड सेगमेंट है, 4 अलग अलग सेगमेंट है, राइट? फॉर ईच कोड सेगमेंट you need some base address, and as far as the respective segment is concerned, again 64 किलोबाइट तो मैंने बताया था आप लोगों को. तो शुरुआत 0000 से होगा, and last address is going to be FFFF. Okay, the first address is going to be 0000. Last address of memory location is going to be FFFF if it is unsigned number. So this is going to be duplicated in each and every segment. So how it is to be, let us say 1000 from code segment. How 1000 from code segment can be differentiated from 1000 memory location from data segment? It will be difficult for you unless we have the base address. Unless we have base address means it is going to be address of the segment. So let us say address of segment is आपको पता होगा कि मैंने आपको बताया था, एक कॉलोनी का एग्जांपल दिया था कि we have got 10 rows, right? एक कॉलोनी में 10 rows है, तो हर रो में क्या नंबर होगा? 1 to 10 is going to be same, right? So 1 to 10 in first row, 1 to 10 in second row, 1 to 10 in third row. Now अगर मान दो आपको अगर लेटर भेजना है तो पोस्टमैन देखेगा हाउस नंबर 10, but which row? If it is A, B, C, D, E, F और G, whatever, right? अगर वहां पर रो नहीं रहा तो पोस्टमैन इज गोइंग टू बी कंफ्यूज, क्योंकि वो देखेगा कि इस कॉलोनी में तो ऐसे 10 रो है and each row has house number 10, right? So unless we have prefix this, right, row number, A row, whatever, so it is not going to be identified. So that prefix means base address. Prefix means segment address. So out of this 5 byte, 1 byte is going to be reserved for code, remaining 2 bytes for offset address, and final 2 bytes are going to, so 1 byte is for opcode so then we have got 4 byte remaining, right? Out of this 4, 2 bytes would be for offset address and remaining 2 bytes will be for segment address. Like that, this parse statement is going to be used to transfer control beyond the current segment, and that is why it is called as inter-segment jump. This is called as inter-segment jump. This is not intra-segment, this is inter-segment jump. You can see this is the example we have quoted here. You can see this is one particular segment. यहाँ पर ये जो ब्रेक किया गया ना, इसका मतलब ये कि ये दूसरा सेगमेंट है. आप उसका प्रीफिक्स देखिए. This is one segment जिसका प्रीफिक्स क्या है, 1 है, right? Whereas this is another segment, उसका प्रीफिक्स A है, right? So this far jump will allow you to jump in that segment, and you can see here 5 byte jump. Okay, there would be opcode 1 byte, then second byte, third byte, fourth byte, and fifth byte. So like that, this is the 5 byte instruction, which is called as inter-segment jump instruction. So we have discussed short jump, near jump, and far jump. Now we have got again jump with register operand. We have got jump with register operand. Now as far as register operand is concerned, earlier whatever the location is there, I mean whatever displacement, the displacement can be in example itself. Like you can see a jump 7, you can see this is in the example itself, jump followed by this displacement. These addresses are going to be in the example itself, which will decide what would be segment address and what would be displacement address. What would be displacement address within the segment, right? Now in this particular instruction, the displacement address is not going to be explicitly given in the statement. It is going to be in the register. That is why it is called a jumps with register operand. Jump with register operand. Like you can see the example, jump AX. Jump AX. What does it mean? It means that the controller program execution would be transferred to that memory location whose address is in AX register. Whose address is in AX register. This can be jump BX. This can be jump CX, DX, whatever. Okay. So here the jump address is not explicitly given. Jump address is not given explicitly. So, but whenever it is executed, this content of this specified register will be transferred to instruction pointer. Will be transferred to instruction pointer. Why instruction pointer? Because आपको पता होगा कि instruction pointer is going to use to keep a track of program execution. मतलब program execution को पूरा देखने के लिए instruction pointer की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि how to execute the program, and therefore जिस लाइन जहां पर हमें कंट्रोल लेकर जाना है उस इंस्ट्रक्शन का एड्रेस जो है हमें किसी भी हालत में आईपी में लेकर जाना जरूरी होता है. तो that is why when this statement is going to be executed, microprocessor will take the content of AX into IP so that control will transfer to that particular memory address. Then we have got conditional jump instruction. Okay, as far as conditional jump instructions are concerned, as I mentioned earlier, unconditional jump do not check any condition, whereas conditional jump instruction always test 5 different flags. Always test 5 different flags. What are those? Sign, zero, carry, parity, and overflow. These are the 5 flags which are going to be tested by the jump instruction in case of conditional jump instruction. Now, depending on the condition, depending on whether the sign flag is set, whether the zero flag is set, or a carry flag, or whatever, depending on that status, control will either transfer to that particular memory location, or it is going to follow the next instruction to be forwarded. Okay, to be followed. Okay. Now, accordingly, there can be 2 different kinds of jump instruction. One is going to be sign conditional branch conditional control instruction. Other is going to be unsigned conditional instruction. Okay. Now, what is the difference that I am going to tell you? But remember, whether it is sign or unsigned, this before transfer of execution, program is always, the control is always going to be transferred based on the status of the flag, based on the status of the flag. So either it could be 1 or 0. Okay, I will quote example. These are example of sign conditional branch instruction. These are example of sign conditional branch instruction. You can see jump equal, jump if equal, jump if equal. It means what? This DISP 8 means displacement is 8 bit. Displacement is 8 bit. Now since the displacement is 8 bit, this is example of short jump. Okay, You can see wherever we are writing DSP 8, DISP 8, it means this is, we are talking about short jump. If it is DISP 16, this is going to be a near jump. And in most of the instruction, let me tell you, my friend, in most of the instruction, you are either going to have near jump or short jump. Far jump is, rarely been used in the programming, far jump, because usually we don't transfer control from one segment to another segment. Usually, as far as academic, whatever program we will be coming after for laboratory purpose, we will not be using a far jump instruction, right? We will be using only near jump and short jump. So here jump if equal. Now what equal? Because before this instruction there will be some condition tested. Before this there will be some condition tested. I will quote example whenever we will be discussing. Let us say we have got compare instruction. We have got compare instruction, right? Compare AL with BL. Compare AL comma BL. Okay. So these jump instructions are going to be always whenever we are talking about conditional jump in particular, because unconditional jump can appear wherever you want, can be included in the program wherever you want, because it's unconditional jumping. If you want, let us say a 10-line program, first 3 executed and remaining 2 you don't want to be executed, you want to be skipped, you can use jump. Let us say displacement could be 3 4. If it is 3, it means 3 subsequent memory location to be skipped and it is going to go to the next. Okay, unconditional jumping. Whereas as far as conditional jump instructions are concerned, there would be some flags updated due to earlier instruction, and depending on that flag, microprocessor is going to decide whether the remaining instructions are to be executed or skipped, where to go. Okay, so like this, that is why I quoted one example. Compare AL comma BL. Compare AL comma BL. So whenever we are comparing AL and BL, so let us say AL is 2 and BL is 2. AL is 2 and BL is 2. It means they are equal. So here, then you can use, let us say JE, jump if equal. Okay, whenever AL is 2 and BL is 2, it's going to jump to that particular address. If not, it's going to follow the next. If not, it's going to follow next address. Okay. Similarly, jump if not equal. Jump if not equal. JNE stands for jump if not equal. JG stands for jump if greater. JGE stands for jump if greater than or equal. JL stands for jump if less than, and JLE stands for jump if less than or equal. So essentially, these instructions are going to be used after compare instruction. Essentially, these instructions can be used after compare instruction. And alternate name, let's say JE can be equal to JZ. JE can be considered as JZ. This is alternate. Jump if the result is 0. Now I'm not going to explain all those, but I can explain at least one, right? Let us say we are using this instruction JZ or JE instruction after compare instruction. Compare, as I mentioned, compare AL comma BL. Compare AL comma BL. Okay. Now if AL is 0, sorry, AL is 2 and BL is 2. If AL is 2 and BL is 2, compare AL comma BL. What is going to happen in case of compare AL comma BL instruction? We know in case of compare AL comma BL instruction, BL is going to be subtracted from AL. BL is going to be subtracted from AL. So in compare instruction, no flags are going to be no register is going to be updated, but flags are going to be updated. In compare instruction, no register is going to be updated, but only flags are going to be updated. So which flag is going to be updated? If AL, because compare AL comma BL means BL is going to be subtracted from AL, right? If both are same, result is going to be 0. So your 0 flag is going to be set. So jump if 0. Jump if 0. Jump if result equal to 0. If those numbers are not equal, what will happen? 0 flag will not set and jump is not going to occur. Okay, 0 flag is not going to set and jump is not going to occur. So obviously it will go to next step. Obviously it will go to next statement. Like that, by interaction we'll take example so that you will be able to understand. Like that, Jane is equal to Jane said. Okay, JG, jump if greater equal to JNLE. Okay, jump if not less or equal. Okay, like that. These are sign conditions, conditional instructions. Okay, because we will be considering the sign numbers, right? If we don't have sign numbers, if you don't have sign numbers, then the instructions are going to be same. These are unconditional sign, unconditional instruction. Instructions are going to be same. The only difference, like for example, JE, equal is going to be same. JNE is going to be same, but JG is going to be, because these are, as far as sign number is concerned, this is going to be jump if greater, because one could be positive number, other could be negative number. But whereas if it is unsigned number, we are not going to have positive negative number. Either it could be like smaller or bigger, right? Jump if above. Let us say 10. Okay. Let's say we are comparing AL with BL. So AL consisting of 0A and BL consisting of, let us say, 02. Okay. So it means the 0A is going to be above. So that is why if it is unsigned number, is going to be considered JG is going to be equivalent to JA, jump if above. Okay. Similarly, jump if greater or equal to jump if above or equal. Jump if low equivalent to jump if below, and jump if less than or equal to jump if below or equal. Okay, and this is equivalent to again same JZ, JNZ, JNB, and so on and so forth. And there are some instructions which will be affecting individual flags, like jump if carry. Okay, if jump if carry flag is set, jump if no carry flag set, jump if parity. Okay, whenever parity flag is 1, jump if no parity, jump if JO means jump if overflow flag is set 1, JNO means jump if no overflow flag, JS jump if sign flag is set, JNS means jump if no sign flag is set, and JZ means jump if zero flag is set, and JNZ means jump if no zero flag is set. Okay, so this is jump if not equal to 0. This is Z equal to 0. This is 0 1, and this should be equal to 0. This should equal to 0. Okay. And there are some process control instruction. This is last slide. There are some process control instructions as well. As far as process control instructions are concerned, process control means what? Like you can see STC. We don't have any operand here. We don't have any operand here. So automatically what will happen? The CF flag is going to be clear. Sorry, set to 1, not clear. STC means the CF flag will set to 1. CLC means CF flag will set to 0. Clear the, carry flag. CMC means complement carry flag. STD means set the directional flag. CLT means clear the directional flag. STI means set the interrupt enable flag. IF, these are the control flags. We know control flags, right? Then CLI, this clear interrupt enable flag. NOP stands for no operation. HALT stands for halt after interrupt is halt means temporary suspension of program execution. Usually, this HLT instruction is being used at the end of program. Whenever you want to terminate program execution, HLT instruction usually used. And then wait is because I told you earlier there is a test pin, because while discussing 8086 pinout diagram, I told you about test pin. Whenever this wait instruction is executed, okay, we have to, microprocessor would be in idle mode. Microprocessor would be in idle mode. Unless we make the test pin 0, unless we make test pin 0, the wait instruction is not going to be, you will not be coming out of the loop. Okay. Therefore, this wait instruction always wait for test pin to active. Okay. We have to activate the test pin. Otherwise, you will not be able to come out of the wait state. So this is going to be a kind of infinite loop. If you want microprocessor to be idle for infinite number of time, you write down one wait statement and don't activate test pin. So unless you activate test pin, जब तक आप test pin को activate नहीं करोगे तब तक microprocessor will be in ideal state. And then escape, this is one more instruction. This is used to pass instruction to coprocessor rather. So whenever you want to pass the control to coprocessor, then you can use escape instruction, and lock is one of the instructions which is being used to lock the bus during next instruction cycle. That means it will lock the buses. So these are some of the process control instructions. So far we have discussed today, we have discussed process control instructions and program transfer instruction. This is end of this section. But I know you might be having a lot of questions from because whenever we are taking online class, since I am not having Blackboard in front of me, I could not quote those examples. But now those examples can be quoted now. You can raise me questions and